This isn't good. What I'm seeing, I feel like I'm at bat and the pitcher is winding up. He knows I'm going to hit a touchdown, and all I can do is go for a step back three and try and win the game. Sports metaphor. There is something coming for natural bodybuilding that is making me a little anxious. And to build on that anxiety, I'd better start the day with a coffee. What the hell is going on? So let's cut to the chase. There is a peptide epidemic coming for natural bodybuilding, and I don't know if we're ready for it. Now, I really hope it's just my social media bubble, but certainly in Dubai and the UAE, there is a huge amount of people talking about peptides. Frankly, they are people who I don't even think managed to pass a high school biology class. They just about have their PT qualification, and now they're talking about all kinds of peptides as if they are God's gift to the universe. However, we need to remember that most of these peptides are still research chemicals, research compounds. Their effects haven't been fully discovered yet. While they may be effective, it's worth remembering that they're all on the banned substance list for most natural bodybuilding federations. But I see so many people talking about the use of peptides, recommending peptides, both to just general population people, but also I see people who either have competed with WNBF before or plan to compete in the future talking about using them. And I just want to shake them and be like, you understand these are banned substances, these are classed as a banned substance, and you will be facing minimum 2 years. I think most of these peptides now are even a 5-year ban. Oh, coffee is so good. Let's get some steps in and I'll talk about the first problem in more detail. So, the first problem I see is people who either don't know better or should know better pushing these compounds onto anyone and everyone. At the base level, this is people pushing GLP-1 agonists for a fat loss benefit. Obviously, these are hugely popular now within the Gen Pop, and while I'm sure they have their application when prescribed by a doctor, they are on the banned substance list, and as natural bodybuilders, you should not be using them. The next level up is people pushing restorative peptides, TB500, BPC157, as big examples. And yes, while these might not be so anabolic, they still are on the banned substance list and they will confer you an advantage versus a natural athlete not using them. Top of the pyramid, obviously you have things like SARMs and actual anabolic peptides that have been on the banned substance list for some time, but people still seem to either be ignorant to that fact or choose not to believe it. Not to mention that the people pushing these things are not doctors. They don't understand how these peptides work. So while I might be autistic enough to do the math, I'm not so autistic that I can't communicate this problem effectively. So this first problem of people pushing these kind of things onto others is just the start of the wave. This is getting the ball rolling for what's coming to natural bodybuilding stages. Let me finish getting these steps in. Let me drink my coffee and listen to a podcast without worrying about this threat to the sport we all love. And I'll cover the second point when I get back home. What does this mean for natural bodybuilding? It means that maybe not in 2026, but probably in 2027, you're going to start seeing more people at least attempting to get on natural bodybuilding stages who have used and gained an advantage from peptides. And from an athlete perspective, this will mean two things. One, athletes who don't know that these are on the banned substance list will just be taking them and stepping on stage with willful ignorance, or there'll be others that choose to feign ignorance, and because they're not a hard steroid, whatever that means, they will try to get around the rules and use these for their contest prep. And from an organizational perspective, it's even harder. It's a bit like cybersecurity. The hackers are always ahead of the security protocols, and it's very similar with drug testing. The testing is usually behind the new technology coming out. And that first point about the athletes either not knowing or not believing that these are hard steroids or on the banned substance list means that the polygraph testing the WNBF uses might not be effective, because to know you've taken something on the banned substance list, you need to know it's on the banned substance list. As far as I'm aware, the urine testing has not caught up to things like GLP-1s, or SARMs and SARMs still cannot be reliably detected. So we are running behind and we're having to catch up and find a way to catch people and deter people from using these peptides before they step on stage, but that's always going to require that people be honest. While the majority of people who compete naturally certainly are, I know that from running shows myself, there's still going to be a small subset of people who want to bend the rules, break the rules, and gain an advantage. What does that mean for us as organizers? We need to be really proactive in getting the message out there and telling athletes that these are what peptides are, these are the peptides on the banned substance list, and they will result in a 5-year ban, at least from the WNBF perspective. The more we communicate that with athletes, the more any athletes who have taken it or are thinking about taking it will just avoid the show altogether, which is a huge positive. Right now, the only weapon we have in our arsenal is education until the testing catches up with these things. And while we can put it in our banned substance list, it requires athletes to go and read the banned substance list, which many times they don't until they come and register for the show. So we need to be active on communicating these things on our channels, making sure that athletes and coaches know that these things are not allowed in natural bodybuilding. Because I do believe it will be an epidemic. We saw it with SARMs already. Lots of young guys particularly just using them because they're not injectable, they're soft, they're not seen as something that's going to cause irreparable damage, although I'm not sure about the actual truth behind that. I do believe more and more people will be taking peptides, and more people who take peptides will be trying to jump on a natural bodybuilding stage. And it is really up to us to stop that from happening. Not my usual fun, cheery videos, I have to say, but it's something I've really been thinking about in the back end of this year. As I say, the more people have been showing up on my social media feed, recommending peptides, talking about peptides, and claiming, especially the GLP-1s, I see legit champion bodybuilders talking about the use of GLP-1s with their athletes and even with their Gen Pop clients, which is crazy. The next 2 years will be very interesting for natural bodybuilding with these new products coming to market. Hopefully the actual chemical testing for these can be caught up with, but for now we have to communicate with people, make sure that they know before they take the polygraph that these things are on the banned substance list so that we can catch them appropriately. Not such a fun video for me, but if there's two things I love, it's K-pop and bodybuilding, and this one involves bodybuilding. Just while I'm editing this, I realized I forgot to ask, what's you guys' opinion? Anyone watching, anyone into natural bodybuilding, do you also see as much rampant peptide use in your circles? And do you think it's going to be a problem for natural bodybuilding and on competitive stages in 2026? Definitely let me know. I think this could be big. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in a more fun episode next time.